Oh, this is John Black, super chemist. We're going to talk about what I call the John Black super chemist or physicist postulates, because apparently I'm self-taught. So apparently I taught myself physics wrong, and I taught myself different physics than what you know. Apparently all the physicists are saying. But at least my physics. There's no double speak. Okay, zero double speak. Everything makes sense. A child can understand it. So, whatever. Here are my postulates. You have to accept these postulates. Okay. If you don't agree with them, then I want you to say this to me. If your postulates aren't true, then this would happen, but it isn't. Give me an example of why my postulates aren't true. Okay? But if you want to learn John Black physics, okay, the true non-woke physics, yeah, you have to have these 5 postulates, and there's one more postulate. I'm not going to name all the postulates. I'm going to lead up to the last postulate, okay, which will blow your mind away, okay. Apparently, since you think, I don't understand. Why don't I don't? How did I perceive everything totally different? And I have no doublespeak, and with the way they're teaching it, it's all doublespeak. It's like, how is that possible? Well, here you go. You always say that you don't know my physics, Mr. Moose. Here it is. I waver. No, I've never wavered from this. Number 1, an inertial frame has the simplest physics and simplest math. That's the definition. Everything floats. Nothing accelerates to the ground. Nothing is stuck to the ground. Why? Because there is no ground. There's no up, there's no down, no ground. Just constant velocity in a straight line. No gravity. None. What's an accelerated frame? Everything the opposite of an inertial frame. Not the simplest physics. Not the simplest math. Nothing floats. Everything accelerates to the ground or is stuck to the ground. Okay? Why? Because you have a ground. And you always have an up and down. Why? Because you have a ground. That's what makes a difference between an accelerated frame and not. If you're accelerated, obviously you're going to be stuck to something, right? If you're not accelerated, like out in outer space, like floating around, you're not stuck to anything. Obviously, you're not being accelerated. That's how you know that you're being accelerated. You're stuck somewhere. Just like on Earth, you're stuck somewhere. You're stuck to the ground. Obviously, you're accelerating. How are you? Number 3 is gravity accelerates space-time down, and falling objects just float there, not moving at all, relative to space-time. So the falling object remains inertial because it's not moving relative to space-time. And the number 4 thing is Earth is an accelerated frame of reference. And that's all you have to, that's it. But you have to come at me with, if this was true, that this other thing won't be true. You can't just come to me and say your postulate's wrong because your postulate's wrong. I also have this postulate. Space-time has negative curvature, and this explains dark energy and dark matter. If you watch my dark matter and dark energy videos, you'll know. But you have to come at me with, if your postulate is true, then this should be happening, but it's not. That's how you prove a postulate is wrong. You don't say, I prove your postulate wrong because I don't believe in your postulate. Like, that makes no sense, man. That's so woke. And the last thing people disagree with me with is, and it's the number 1 rule. All frames of reference are valid, that the physics experiments and math dictate the frame is. Motions do not dictate frame validity. Physics experiments and math dictate frame validity. So it doesn't matter what your emotions say. If all the physics experiments say that you're a certain frame of reference, and all the math dictates you are that certain, then that's what you are, and that frame is valid. Okay, but if you take all the physics experiments results and throw them in the garbage, and you take all the math and throw it in the garbage, and you go against what the math and the experiments say, and you say my frame of reference is this and not what the what the math and physics says, then no, your frame is not valid. You're a moron. You're an idiot. Why do I have to argue this point? This is ridiculous. Your emotions do not dictate what frame you're in. I don't care if you can't just outright lie. Okay, you can't just outright lie. Now there is one more postulate, one more John Black superphysicist postulate in physics. I want to save that for when we go over the twin paradox, because it's just going to complicate things, and it's a next level of thinking, I guess. No one, of course, is going to believe it, because they don't even believe this. This is like, so far I'm just hitting 4 or 5 elementary things, man. How can everyone just disagree with me, man? It's like, I literally say that the frame of reference of the Earth, a frame where 100% of everything accelerates down to the ground, is an accelerated frame of reference. Why is that blasphemy? Why is that, like, what? How can you disagree with me? There is a hint in this pictogram if you want to look at it. Otherwise, just wait. I think you should just wait, though. You'll never get this if you first you got to grasp the first postulates. Once you get past those, you understand that space-time accelerates down, then you can move on to the twin paradox and all these paradoxes that are stupid. They're not even paradoxes. They're just misunderstanding physics, basically.